Ever wondered why hangovers feel so terrible? Well, it's all down to science. When we consume alcohol, our body works overtime to process it, and this can lead to dehydration, inflammation, and a disrupted sleep pattern, all of which are key ingredients for that dreaded morning after feeling. But fear not, because the world is full of remedies to help ease your suffering. The one we're focusing on today hails from Korea and is known as Haejangguk. Now, Haejangguk isn't just any old soup. It's a traditional Korean dish specifically designed to combat hangovers. Yes, you heard that right. This hearty, soul-soothing soup is packed full of ingredients that are said to replenish lost nutrients and rehydrate the body, making it the perfect antidote to a night of overindulgence. Yes, you heard right, a hangover soup. Intrigued? Let's dive right into it. So what exactly is Haejangguk? Well, let's dive right in. Haejangguk, also known as hangover soup, is steeped in Korean tradition. This hearty dish has been soothing headaches and calming stomachs for centuries. Rich in flavor and packed with nutrients, it's no wonder that this soup is the go-to remedy after a night of overindulgence. At its core, Haejangguk is a beef broth soup, typically brimming with napa cabbage, bean sprouts, and radish. But what gives it its hangover-busting powers? The answer lies in the soup's key ingredients. The beef broth is rich in amino acids, which help detoxify the liver, while the vegetables provide essential nutrients to replenish the body. Additionally, the hot soup works wonders for rehydration, helping to restore balance in the body. It's a dish that not only soothes the senses, but also provides the body with exactly what it needs to bounce back after a night of revelry. Now that you know what Haejangguk is, you must be eager to know how to prepare it. Scene script. First, gather all your ingredients. To whip up a comforting bowl of Haejangguk, you'll need a variety of components that each contribute to its unique flavor profile and restorative properties. So let's get started. Our main ingredient is beef brisket. You'll need about 1.5 pounds of it. This lean meat is full of protein and will form the hearty backbone of our soup. If you're unable to find beef brisket, a similar cut of beef or even pork can be used as a substitute. Next, you'll need napa cabbage. We're going to need about half of a large head. Napa cabbage is a staple in Korean cuisine, known for its sweet and crisp taste. If it's not available, you can use Savoy cabbage as an alternative. One radish, peeled and sliced, will add a crisp, peppery bite. You can use either a Korean radish or a daikon radish. If neither are available, a few white turnips can be used instead. You'll also need about a cup of bean sprouts for their refreshing crunch. If you can't find bean sprouts, thinly sliced mushrooms can offer a similar texture. Now let's talk about the flavor boosters. You'll need 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, and 4 cloves of garlic, minced. These will add a rich depth of flavor to our soup. For a bit of spice, we'll need 1 teaspoon of Korean red pepper flakes. If you can't find these, regular red pepper flakes or even a dash of cayenne pepper will do the trick. Lastly, we'll need about 10 cups of water to create our broth. And don't forget the salt and pepper for seasoning. Optional garnishes include chopped green onions, sesame seeds, and strips of dried seaweed. These will add a pop of color and a final touch of flavor. So, there you have it. A comprehensive list of what you'll need to create a traditional bowl of Haejangguk. Remember, this soup is all about balance, so feel free to adjust the quantities to suit your taste. Once you've gathered all your ingredients, the cooking process begins. Start by preparing the broth. The broth for Haejangguk is the backbone of this dish, providing a deep, rich flavor that permeates every spoonful. This isn't something to rush. The process of making a good broth is a labor of love. Begin by placing a large piece of beef brisket in a pot of cold water. The brisket is a flavorful cut of meat that will lend a robust, meaty taste to the broth. Bring the water to a boil over high heat and let it bubble away for about 10 minutes. This initial boil helps to remove any impurities from the meat, ensuring a clear, clean-tasting broth. Once the 10 minutes are up, discard the water and rinse the brisket under cold water. This is a crucial step, as it helps to remove any residual scum and grit from the meat. Place the rinsed brisket back into the pot, cover with fresh cold water, and bring to a boil again. Now, it's time to reduce the heat to a gentle simmer. This low, slow cooking process allows the flavors to meld and intensify, creating a broth that is both rich and nuanced. To this simmering pot, add a halved onion, a few cloves of garlic, and a piece of kombu, which is a type of edible seaweed that adds a savory, umami depth to the broth. Allow this mixture to simmer for at least 3 hours. Yes, 3 hours. But trust me, it's worth every minute. The longer you let it simmer, the more flavor you're going to extract from the ingredients. Remember to skim off any scum or fat that rises to the top during this time. This helps to keep the broth clear and pure, allowing the flavors of the other ingredients to shine through without being muddled. With the broth simmering, it's time to prepare the other components of the soup. But before we move on, take a moment to appreciate the aroma of the simmering broth. It's the smell of comfort, of warmth, of a meal that will not only satisfy your hunger but also soothe your soul. While the broth is simmering, prepare the other ingredients. The magic of Haejangguk lies not only in its invigorating broth, but also in the symphony of ingredients that add depth and complexity to the dish. Each component is integral to the soup, contributing its unique flavor and texture to the mix. First up, we have the Napa cabbage. This leafy green is a mainstay in Korean cuisine, and for good reason. Its sweet and tender leaves provide a nice contrast to the robust soup. Make sure to thinly slice the cabbage into bite-sized pieces for easy consumption. Next, we have the radish. This humble root vegetable is a powerhouse of flavor, adding a refreshing crunch to the dish. Remember to peel and thinly slice the radish into half moons. Let's not forget the bean sprouts. These little guys are packed with nutrients and add a delightful crunch to the soup. Rinse them thoroughly and set them aside. Meanwhile, the fernbrake and dried kelp have been soaking in water. Now it's time to drain them and give them a rough chop. These ingredients add an earthy dimension to the soup, rounding out the flavor profile. And finally, the piece de resistance, the beef brisket. This meaty marvel is what gives the soup its hearty, satisfying nature. First, thinly slice the brisket. Then, marinate it in a mixture of soy sauce, sesame oil, and garlic. This not only flavors the beef but also tenderizes it, making it melt in your mouth delicious. Each of these ingredients plays a pivotal role in the soup, adding layers of flavor and texture that make Haejangguk the ultimate comfort food. They come together in harmony, creating a soup that is more than the sum of its parts. Now that all the components are ready, it's time to assemble the soup. Assembling Haejangguk is quite straightforward. Begin by ladling the hearty soup into a large bowl. Make sure to get a good mix of the rich broth, tender meat, and soft Napa cabbage. Next, top the soup with a generous amount of the cooked soybean sprouts. This will add an irresistible crunch that perfectly complements the soup's savory depth. Now, it's time to add the final touches. Sprinkle finely chopped green onions for a refreshing kick. If you like a bit of heat, you could also add a few slices of fiery red chili. And for that quintessential Korean flavor, a dollop of gochujang, or red chili paste, works wonders. Traditionally, Haejangguk is served piping hot with a side of steamed rice and kimchi. The rice helps to mellow out the soup's strong flavors, while the tangy kimchi adds another layer of complexity to this delightful dish. And there you have it, Haejangguk, your ultimate hangover cure. But Haejangguk isn't just a hangover cure. This Korean delicacy is a powerhouse of nutrients that can benefit your health in various ways. Packed with proteins from the meat, vitamins and minerals from the vegetables, and the fortifying properties of the bone broth, it's a well-rounded meal in a bowl. The soup's high protein content aids in building and repairing body tissues, while the vegetables provide essential vitamins and minerals to boost your immune system. The bone broth is a source of collagen, which is good for your skin, hair, nails, and joints. Moreover, Haejangguk is also known for its potential benefits for digestion. The warm, hearty soup soothes your stomach, making it an ideal comfort food when you're not feeling your best. And let's not forget, the soup's salty, spicy, and umami flavors are a delight for your taste buds, making it a delicious way to nourish your body. So the next time you're feeling a little under the weather after a night out, remember Haejangguk. It's not just delicious, it's also a nutritious way to kickstart your recovery.